Welcome to the AFN Sports Arena with Jancy and Tori. I'm Jancy Ellis, and I'm joined in the AFN Okinawa studio by Air Force Staff Sergeant Tori Kuzumano.
Oh, no. You upset the child, Jancy.
I know. It's my scary voice.
It's okay.
Well, I'm happy to be back here with you guys this week. I apologize if my voice cracks a little bit. I had to have an unplanned surgery during the typhoon last week, and I ended up totally losing my voice from the anesthesia. But I'm back, and I'm feeling good. How are you doing, Tori?
I'm doing very good. I'm doing great. I like your voice like this. It makes you sound like Batman.
Yeah, a little
bit. Like you're
a
superhero.
Or like I smoke 5 packs a day, but you know,
you did
either
not
one.
smoke 80,000
I did
cigarettes
not.
before coming on the air?
I did
That's
not.
Surprising.
And this is actually tons better than it was, so I'm glad to be back.
Well, we're happy that you're okay, and thank you for being such a trooper.
Of course. I love this podcast. So I know last week was an amazing week for sports. I was totally bummed to miss it. Tell me a little bit about what I missed.
Well, you missed the Houston Astros winning their first ever World Series, which was incredible. Actually, a somewhat boring Game 7, to be honest with you, but the series as a whole was incredibly
that Game 5 go
wonderful.
Down history.
Yeah, just back and forth and extra innings and all sorts of crazy stuff. So we had a fun time talking about that, and now there's been NBA trades, and there's been NFL happenings, injuries, and replacements, and talented rookies going down for the year. Oh, rest in peace to Deshaun Watson's season.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot going on, so we're happy to have you back.
Yeah. Well, let's dive into it. Now that the local football season is over, I guess we're going to have to just jump right into the NFL. We're at the midseason point, so let's call it out right now. Who is your Super Bowl champion prediction?
That's so tough.
I'll go first
Jancy.
if you want.
Okay.
Mine is definitely the Philadelphia Eagles. It's not as tough for me. And that's not just because they put up 51 points on my Broncos defense. The most allowed by Denver in 7 years.
Listen, okay? We also got shut out for the first time in 25 years this year.
Not looking good.
But it's about the Eagles.
Yes, but the Eagles have won 7 consecutive games and have 6 conference wins, already securing home field advantage for the playoffs. Their only loss was to the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 2, and if Ezekiel Elliott's suspension holds up, then their last big test against division rival Dallas in Week 11 should be a whole lot easier. I just don't see anyone that's going to stop them.
They are firing on all cylinders right now, to be sure. But this worries me, Jancy.
Yes, let's hear it.
Because teams need to face a little bit of adversity to grow and to be prepared to face those in the playoffs, because they can steamroll their way through the regular season. But when playoff time comes around, experience in handling adversity, poise, that sort of thing comes into play. And the Eagles, while extremely talented, don't have that playoff experience yet, not as a whole, as a team, as this team.
They're young.
Their coach, Doug Peterson, he's pretty new. He comes from that Andy Reid coaching tree there. So we'll see. I think they have what it takes. I definitely do.
Sometimes when you're young, you don't know your limitations.
That's very true. No, I definitely agree with you on that, but I'm not ready to crown them quite yet.
Yeah. Okay, so who's your favorite? Let's hear it. You got to do it. You got to name it. You got to get it on record.
My Super Bowl champions.
Yep.
Oh, God. The New England Patriots.
Oh, that hurts.
It gives me so much pain to say that. But Tom Brady is playing at such an efficient level. At age 40, it's like he hasn't lost an ounce of talent.
Yeah.
His decision-making skills are excellent. His arm strength is still there. And we talked about that. Like, I just trust them.
Yeah.
I believe in them. If I was a betting man, and I'm not, Jancy, at this point in the season, because it's still only midway, I would bet the house on the New England Patriots. That might change.
They are the safe bet. They're
that
always
might
the
change,
safe bet.
but if a smart man would bet on those guys. Steelers are always in it.
Yeah.
Seahawks are always in it, although I watched them play against Washington, and they looked terrible.
Yeah.
Their defense
not
looks great.
Showing.
Russell Wilson did not play well in that game, which is sad because he's on my fantasy team.
Well, if the Eagles do make it to the Super Bowl, I actually think, I will be pulling for the Steelers over the Patriots.
Oh, yeah,
because that would be pretty cool to see 2 Pennsylvania teams facing off. I don't know, maybe that's just the journalist in me, but if it's not my team in the race, I'm looking for good storylines.
Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. I don't want to see the New England Patriots in there either. Yeah. And honestly, I like the Eagles. I've liked the Eagles since Donovan McNabb when I first got into football, 15, 16, 17 years ago. So I'll be pulling for them. I will be pulling for him.
Yeah, but you're not all in yet. You're not on the
Not yet.
bandwagon
I can't do it.
Okay, well, we will see how it plays out. Like I said, we're just midway through, plenty of football left.
Yep.
Speaking of storylines, the MLB announced all of the award finalists on Monday, and I wanted to ask your opinion on a few of these to see who you think will be taking home the hardware. First up, the NL MVP. Finalists are Paul Goldschmidt, Giancarlo Stanton, and Joey Votto. Now, some people were surprised that Votto finished ahead of your Rockies' Nolan Arenado and Charlie Blackmon. Thoughts?
I am one of those people that is color me surprised, Jancy. They were all the pundits on ESPN and all these other places picking Charlie Blackmon to win the MVP, and he did not even make the top 3. Joey Votto is an excellent player, a wonderful player who has won the MVP and who is an MVP caliber player, and he deserves to be in there, but not over Charlie Blackmon or Nolan Arenado. He did not have that good of a year, Joey Votto.
I kind of agree, and I don't think he's going to win it. Stanton and Votto, I don't think they really stand a chance. They're playing for losing teams, which usually doesn't happen, but Mike Trout did win last year, which was the first time since A-Rod in 2003. We were playing for a losing team.
I give Stan a chance. He almost got the record, the home run record. I give him definitely a fighting chance. But Charlie Blackmon set the all-time record for RBIs by a leadoff man. The all-time record.
I know, but he
not
he
even
didn't
in the
make
MVP
it. Not even a finalist.
It's okay. I think Stanton. If it were my pick, I would pick Stanton out of this group. Goldschmidt's a great player too.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be Goldschmidt just because that's what I'm hearing, and I like to listen to those
Arizona
who know
on
more
his
than
back.
me. Yeah, I totally agree. Next up is the AL MVP. There are 3 finalists, but it really comes down to a 2-man race: Jose Altuve and Aaron Judge. Judge was the favorite before the All-Star break, then he slumped, and Altuve became the favorite. But then Judge hit 15 home runs and knocked in 32 runs in the final stretch to help the Yankees lock down a wild card. Do you think it's possible Judge brings home an AL MVP and Rookie of the Year award?
It's definitely possible, Jancy. Very much these awards tend to fall victim to like the hype train,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? And the trends, like you were talking about, those play a huge part.
And the media does vote.
Yeah, and Judge had a very strong finish to the season, like you were saying. So I think it's within the realm of possibility. If I'm looking at it from a baseball standpoint, I think Jose Altuve is a better all-around player.
Yeah.
Although Judge is great on defense as well. He's a very good all-around player.
He is.
I think at this point in their careers, Jose Altuve is a better player.
Yeah, but the hype machine takes over sometimes.
The hype machine does. So I won't be surprised either way. If I was casting a vote, Jancy, it would be for Altuve.
Okay, I'd have to agree with you on that. I think Judge's still a rookie, still has some time to prove himself, and he did have that slump, which brings into question
You right.
his consistency. Okay, how about NL Cy Young? That's another close one. Finalists are Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer, and Steven Strasburg. Kershaw is going for his 4th Cy Young, and Scherzer his 3rd and 2nd in a row. My prediction is Scherzer first and Kershaw second, which will mean 3 years in a row he doesn't win, even though he has a 2.07 ERA through that time, which is crazy. But I think that's what's going to happen.
I hope that Kershaw wins it, and I hate the Dodgers, and I hate Clayton Kershaw, but this is something I talk about a lot. Even though I hate him, I respect the heck out of him because he's a generational. He's a once-in-a-generation pitcher.
Yeah.
And this year, the Dodgers made it all the way to the World Series. He exercised some of those playoff demons that had been haunting him, Clayton Kershaw, and I think if there's any pitcher in baseball that deserves it, it's him.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. I'm with you. I don't want him getting snubbed 3 years in a row. That just hurts. Now, AL Cy Young, that one's pretty obvious. Corey Kluber is going to be the 2-time winner.
Corey Kluber's a beast.
Yeah, there's no question.
And he almost got Cleveland over the hump there. Unfortunately, they didn't make
almost,
it all the way.
Not quite.
But he is somebody that I would never want to go up against.
Yeah, we'll see. Next year, I'm watching them. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And then both Rookie of the Year awards are pretty much a given. In the NL, we have Josh Bell, Cody Bellinger, and Paul DeJong, who were nominated. Bellinger set an NL rookie record with 39 home runs and should easily take this one, even though Bell and DeJong were both powerhouses.
Yeah, both great players, but if Cody Bellinger does not win this, then the system is rigged. But then again, freaking Blackmon and Arenado were in the NL.
That's true. I know, we're going to be hearing about that for a while.
God, man, killing me.
Yeah.
But no, Cody Bellinger, the obvious choice, and then the AL, obviously.
Yeah, in the AL, people have been calling Yankees Aaron Judge the Rookie of the Year for months now. Andrew Benintendi and Trey Mancini, the other nominees, they don't stand a chance.
No, man.
It's Judge.
Even despite their awesome Italian names,
Yeah.
they cannot hold a candle to Aaron Judge.
I can't.
All right.
The Bronx Bomber. And, the fact that he is in the conversation for the MVP, enough makes you think, of course,
Right.
he's got
then,
a lot.
yeah, how could one of those other guys win that if he's, yeah.
And then, of course, there were Gold Glove Award winners announced also this week, which names the best defensive players at each position in each league, voted on by managers and coaches around the league, but they aren't allowed to vote for their own players, obviously. There are 18 Gold Gloves awarded. Were there any that you were surprised by / pleased with? I saw that Nolan Arenado took home the NL third base honor.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you'd be happy about that.
I am happy. He's the best defensive third baseman in the league, although it's close. There's a couple other ones that are really good.
Yeah.
I'm always happy to see first-time winners. Marcell Ozuna is a first-time winner this year. There was a few other ones as well. I don't necessarily love to see the guys who win for their whole career, although, I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah, the winners are the winners.
Yeah. So no real shocks or surprises, but kudos to those guys who made it on there for the first time.
It is always fun seeing who the up-and-coming people are, who's finally reached their pinnacle.
Yeah.
Well, okay, moving on. What did you think of the Milwaukee Bucks picking up Eric Bledsoe from the Phoenix Suns for Greg Monroe, a 2018 protected first-round pick, and a 2018 protected second-round pick? As you might, that's how you feel.
It's a good one.
Yeah, as you might remember, the Suns shut down Bledsoe, their starting point guard, for the final 15 games in hopes of improving their draft position. This is last year. Understandably, Bledsoe wasn't thrilled about that, and he felt they really let him down. Word had also been circulating that he was dealing with some, quote, knee soreness, which he claims was completely false. And remember, this season for the Suns hadn't been any smoother, starting 0-3, and Coach Earl Watson was fired. Bledsoe tweeted about an hour before the firing was announced, quote, I don't want to be here.
Yikes.
Could see the writing on the wall.
That's pretty rough. That's about as overt as it gets, Jancy.
Yeah.
I think Bledsoe's a good player. It's a business, you know what I mean? And you're messing with the man's livelihood when you shut him down for the final to improve your teams overall. And I'm not against taking one for the team, but it was the last year of his contract, like you were saying. And
not smart.
It's not smart. You're really putting him in a hard position. And you're essentially telling him how little he means to you as an organization.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him.
And over his career, this is his 7th year coming out of Kentucky. He's averaged 20 points, 4 boards, and 6 assists per game. So he there's room for improvement, but he's no slouch by any means. And needless to say, he's pretty thrilled to be joining the Greek freak, Giannis, not even ever going to attempt his last name.
Antetokounmpo.
Okay, I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, man, that dude...
He's on fire.
That dude is on track to be the next face of the NBA, and everyone's going to have to learn how to pronounce his name.
Yep.
But Eric
or
Bledsoe...
just the Greek freak. I can get it. I can get on board with that.
The Greek freak is an excellent nickname, and for Bledsoe, he's got to be thrilled, just like you said, to be joining him, because he goes from a terrible situation in Phoenix on a bad team to now potentially being able to help a team make it a deep run in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
With a lot of raw talent. And you said the career numbers, 20 points a game is not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's not going to be asked to do as much on this Milwaukee team. So I'm very excited to see how he does.
He has talent around him.
For Phoenix, they got a great haul in return.
Yeah.
A couple of nice draft picks.
And a veteran.
Player. So for a team that's rebuilding, this was really this was a win-win situation, I think.
And he's playing for one of the best point guards in the history of the game, Bucks coach Jason Kidd.
If anyone can teach him how to do it, it's Jason Kidd. That guy was a great player, class act, and by all accounts, a solid coach as well.
So like you said, I think this immediately makes the Bucks stronger contenders in the East, and I'm excited to watch how this plays out and how the team gels. You can take a look for yourself this Tuesday at 10 a.m. as the Milwaukee Bucks host the Memphis Grizzlies on AFN Sports 2.
Watch it. MyAFN.net has the full sports schedule.
Yes,
if you want to check it out.
Never miss a game. And speaking of televised events, did you catch some of the headlines coming out of USC 217?
Yeah. I mean, no.
Probably not about the fight. Probably not about anything that happened. But I'll explain. It was built to be the card of the year, and it definitely delivered. Some say it was one of the most important cards in UFC history, but the buzz coming out of the big night wasn't about any of the fights that took place, but one that might be happening in the future. I'm talking about George St. Pierre and Conor McGregor possibly squaring off.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is sure to be one of the biggest pay-per-view events in recent history. I don't know, what do you think? Will St. Pierre drop down to welterweight to face off against McGregor?
I think it'd be stupid not to.
Right? If anything, just for the money.
Conor McGregor is literally pure gold
Yeah.
in terms of viewership.
Absolutely.
He's the biggest personality that the UFC has.
Mm-hmm.
And GSP would be a fool to not participate in this fight because I think he can beat him.
Yeah.
I don't think Conor McGregor is. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
He's really good.
McGregor hasn't been in an MMA ring in over a year.
Yeah, GSP. He's one of those really tried and true UFC guys. Like
Yeah.
he's well versed in the ways of the octagon. And I think it'll be a tough fight on both accounts. But I think he can beat him, and I think the money, the payday, would be too big to pass up.
It'd definitely be a spectacle. As we know, anything with McGregor is always interesting.
Spectacle is an understatement.
Yes. Well, whether it happens or not, we're sure to hear about the buzz for a while, and you can be certain that if it does happen, AFN will do its very best to bring you guys the fight for free.
You right.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope it happens.
Me too.
Well, that's going to have to do it for us today. Don't know how much longer my voice can hold out here. I'm losing volume.
Well, you've got lots of crime to go
Yes,
fight.
I
You know,
do.
Gotham's not going to clean itself up, Jancy.
You weren't supposed to share that with everybody. Make sure you hit subscribe and check back next week as we'll be diving into the college football playoff picture that is shaping up and also update you on the NHL season thus far. Thanks for joining us in the AFN Sports Arena. I'm Jancy Ellis, and he's...
Air Force Staff Sergeant Tori Cusimano. Oh, no. I woke the baby again.
okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, I'll talk softly to
Okay.
it. Have a great weekend and stay safe out there. And don't forget, you have to look good to play good.